On this week's MetPy Monday, I want to show you 2 Python tricks that I just started using this week that I think you'll find useful. Welcome to another MetPy Monday. Hello, I'm John Lehman, a software engineer for Unidata. This week, I actually just wanted to show you 2 tricks that I recently picked up and that I've been using. And I'm not going to say that they're best practice in programming, but they're certainly handy when you're just first getting your code developed and you're trying things out, especially when you're trying things out in the read, evaluate, print loop, or REPL. So you open a terminal and type Python or IPython, for example. So the first thing we're going to talk about is getting the result of a previous computation. Now this does work in the notebook, and I would not encourage you to publish code that uses this necessarily, but it is a handy little trick. So let's say I'm doing some calculation. I've got 1,345 and I want to divide it by 2.67. And I get some result. Now the next step in my calculation, I've decided that I need to multiply that by 6.9. So I could type 503.74531 times 6.9, go as many digits out as I wanted. And again, in the notebook, you would probably just go up here and edit. But imagine that we're in the REPL. It's just a lot easier to show these things in the notebook for a Monday. We can use the underscore, which normally we think of as we're assigning something to underscore to throw it away. But I can take underscore times 6.9, and that takes that prior result. Now it doesn't just work with a simple number like this. We can actually use united things with it as well. And so to demonstrate that, let's do a round trip through MetPy's calc module. It's always a good idea if you're using code that you didn't write to round trip a calculation, meaning we put something in, we get the result, and then we do the reverse and make sure we get what we started with, so we know the calculations work correctly. So I'm going to import metpy.calc as mpcalc. And from metpy.units, we're going to import units. Okay, so the calculation that I've chosen here is dew point from relative humidity, and then we'll go backwards relative humidity from dew point. So dew point from relative humidity. Use tab completion there to save yourself some time. Shift tab to look at the function signature, and temperature and relative humidity are the arguments that it takes. We'll use 26 degrees Celsius and 56% humidity. And now we get a result of a dew point of 16.555 Celsius. Now we can calculate relative humidity from dew point. It takes temperature and dew point. Our temperature is still 26 degrees Celsius, and our dew point is what we calculated prior, and we get back out 0.56 or 56%. So our calculation round trips successfully. Now, of course, you could assign this to a variable and so on, but if you're working in the REPL or you're doing a real quick first cut at some calculation that you're trying, this can actually be really handy, and I found myself using it several times since I've learned about it. The second thing that I want to show you, I've been using to help open documentation for a specific, here's the link to a paper, or to open just several sites that I need for like a dashboard. Every morning I come in and I have to check on several different services, and this is a handy way to open it. I'm not going to say it's the most robust way to do this. There are many ways that you can deal with web browsers in Python, but this is certainly the simplest, and thus far for me, it's worked out pretty well just for my own personal use. Again, it's not very nice to open a bunch of web browser tabs, though, on somebody else's machine with your code, unless they know you're going to be doing it. So we're going to import web browser with an S. Web browser is already installed. You don't need to do anything. Then I can call webbrowser.open and then some web address, so the Unidata website, for example. And when I run that cell, I get a new tab that's got the Unidata website. So that's really handy, and you can put more than one call and get more than one tab. So I'm going to add a second webbrowser.open, weather.cod.edu/satrad. Now I get two tabs, the Unidata website and the College of DuPage, satellite, and radar map. So this is a really easy way to open a bunch of your favorite tabs, to check on the status of systems, to look at your favorite maps, or any other thing you can dream up. So these are just two random Python tips that I've recently discovered and found very useful in my daily workflow, and I hope you will too. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on next week's MetPy Monday.